Hello and welcome to day 20. My name is Tanya. I'm 52 years old. I live on the east coast of Scotland, and this is my diary vlog that I'm doing a 30-day challenge to document my self-development progress over my lifetime and launching my online coaching and therapy business, and using YouTube as my learn fast, doing this 30-day challenge to learn as much as I possibly can in a shorter period, and then use this platform to be able to share more hints and tips and tools and techniques that might aid you on your self-development journey, but at the same time bringing a little bit of kind of light relief and entertainment via my kind of life story, and delving into aspects that I'll have covered off in the 30 days, but I'll delve into a little bit more detail as the kind of channel progresses. So ultimately this will morph from a 30-day daily posting to a three times a week posting on a Monday, Wednesday and Friday. On a Monday it will be self-reflection, so I've done a few of those posts earlier on for those of you that have watched, and then on a Wednesday it'll be the hints and tips and tools, techniques that I'll share with you, and I'll probably take a topic at a time and then just delve into a little bit more detail, and then Friday it'll be the kind of Tanya life story. So today we're going to do part 2 of my life story at the ages from like 39 that I covered off yesterday, and then delving into like 40, and then we'll sort of proceed over the next few days. So there might not be a lot of hints and tips in these. It's more about me sort of documenting the journey and getting comfortable being in front of the camera. So thank you if you want to stick around. If you like and want to sort of like follow the rest of the content when it comes, please feel free to hit the subscribe button as well. So heading up to my 40th birthday, I actually, as much as I had done all that kind of fill my cup, prioritize the travel, the work-life balance, eating and exercising and being healthier in myself, mentally I probably wasn't there yet. And for me, turning 40 was a big kind of milestone, especially because in my bucket list from much earlier, I wanted to visit Peru and do the Machu Picchu Inca trail, but because of my kind of physical weight gain several years previously and not having done a lot of walking, and because of the altitude, I had created this kind of negative mental block in my head that, oh, it's not going to happen, and then I've missed a big milestone from my bucket list, and I started feeling a little bit of the kind of failure, imposter syndrome. I can't trust my own promises to myself. So there was a bit of an internal battle. Plus it was also that kind of, oh, I'm turning 40, now I'm old. And this is where our perception of longevity and what we can actually achieve in our 50s and 60s and 70s and beyond has drastically changed in the kind of past 10 years. But back then, turning 40 was a big thing. So for me, I was actually dreading it, to be honest. And the thing to make me stop dreading it was almost like go and do the thing that was on the bucket list to do by the age of 40, and that was go to Peru. Take the risk that you get there and you suffer from altitude sickness and you can't do the Inca trail. But take the risk. Don't sit there regretting or berating yourself for not even tried. So I booked myself on to do to go to Peru. However, because there was limited spots to do the Inca trail, and having done a fair bit of kind of hill walking myself, I sort of came to realise that my pace of walking, especially on the hills, wasn't a fast pace, and I didn't want to put additional pressure on my body. So I decided that rather than doing the Inca trail, I would actually do, because there was a lot of steps on that, I decided to actually do a different trail, and I'll include below the kind of trail that I actually did. And And that meant that it was more hill walking. So there was very little kind of steps that we actually did. The most of it was walking on hills, and there was the ups and downs, which is good because then your whole body's getting the kind of exercise as well. But we actually hit an altitude that was much higher than what we would have if we had gone on the Inca Trail. But ultimately we did go to Machu Picchu, and it was a magical experience. So it hit so many of the kind of boxes and exceeded my expectations in such a profound way. And that sort of then started shifting my mindset that being 40 is actually fun, and it doesn't mean that your life has come to an end. This is just another chapter, and there is lots of things that you want to accomplish, see and do. And that's where I started sort of developing what are my kind of next kind of travel plans, and I was sort of looking forward to that. So then I proceeded to do the Southeast Asia trip when I was 41. But in that intervening period, because I had opened myself up to the possibility of maybe being in a long-term relationship is something that I would want to explore. So I started doing internet dating. I went on a few speed dating sessions to sort of experience. I almost created a bucket list of all the things that I wanted to experience. And there is a coach, a relationship coach, Matthew Hussey, who I actually followed at that time, and he was sort of like saying how to get the guy, giving you hints and tips on how to approach it. I had a few work colleagues that I got on really, really well. Probably the boundaries were probably a wee bit skewed from my kind of perspective. That was probably oversharing with them. But I was getting their insight from a male perspective because they were in relationships, and it was like, what should I do here? What should I do there for the kind of longer term? Because all the relationships that I had, well, I couldn't even call them relationships, prior to like my kind of 40s, it was hookups, it was one night stands, it was just little fleeting things, because I had major commitment issues. I wasn't prepared to not even settle down as such. There were so many things that I wanted to accomplish, and I thought being in a relationship, it would actually constrain you from being able to experience the fullness of life. And because I never wanted children, I didn't want that to then become an issue, because if you genuinely fell in love with someone and they really strongly wanted children, because of my unhealthy boundaries, I probably would have maybe started to think I would change my mind, in which case then I would genuinely be unhappy. So it was much easier for me to almost like say, relationships isn't something for me, so I'm not going to pursue it. But then when I turned 39 and started to do that full reflection of my life and where I was actually heading to and what was going to bring me joy, I was like, am I missing out on something? So this fear of missing out was something that sort of like made me sort of take action when I turned 40 and then 41 to start exploring relationships. Maybe not in the kind of in the way that my relatives in Greece would have liked me to sort of approach it, or even my parents. My dad got super excited when I started going on my first dates, and it was a case of, oh, should we get the priest over and start sort of like planning weddings and everything? And I was like, oh God, Dad, just calm the horses, we'll just take it a date at a time. And it did take a couple of years for you've got to kiss a few frogs to actually find your prince. And when I turned 42, I actually met who then became my eventual husband. Now, I'm just giving a wee spoiler alert, he's actually the ex-husband. So within that kind of 10-year period, from 42 to 52, things have drastically changed. So we'll cover that off in a few kind of further blogs. But the one thing that I wanted to sort of like briefly cover off is that for my 42, before my 42nd birthday, apologies, the word's not coming out right, I really wanted to go to Rio Carnival. And that happened in February. So I went prior to my 42nd birthday, and I had a magical time. It was absolutely superb. Now, I had done a little bit more kind of reading about all the kind of dangers that you would actually have traveling in South America for foreign tourists, especially because I was doing backpacking as well. So I was very cautious, and I had an amazing time when I was at the Rio carnival, and then I proceeded into Paraguay and Uruguay, and then I went to Argentina and spent some time in Buenos Aires, and then eventually I went up to the Iguazu Falls, which is just breathtaking. This is where there were some life events that happened when I was in Buenos Aires that I will cover off tomorrow, because that is more of a kind of emotive kind of topic to sort of cover off. But I thought I would actually bring us up to speed to get to that kind of trip over to Argentina, and we'll pick that up tomorrow. So thank you very much for persevering with me and listening to my life story, and I look forward to sort of like sharing with you within the kind of community what places you've travelled to, which places have inspired you, what places were in your bucket list. Let's share within the community below. And until tomorrow, go out and seize the day. Have an awesome day. And always remember, you've got choices in life, so choose wisely. Bye.